Well, so if we're inevitably heading for more, are we also inevitably headed for more taxes? None of my next guests can help it. Grover Norquist of Americans for Tax Reform joins me now. Grover, you think it's all inevitable? I mean, that it's avoidable, rather.
Well, it's avoidable, but the strategy of the Obama administration, of Harry Reid of Nevada and Nancy Pelosi, is to spend so much money to wreck the economy, to run it into a tree, and turn around to the rest of us and say, what are you going to do to fix this problem, the problem they created of overspending? Jack Kemp in the 1970s used to say Republicans shouldn't be foolish and become the tax collectors for the welfare state. This is the Democratic strategy. Spend so much, wreck the economy, turn around and look like it's somebody else's fault, and say, now who's going to pay for this? We need to stop the overspending and make it clear we're not raising taxes to pay for their mistakes.
I understand your message. Do you think, though, it's beginning to resonate? Because I was at a tax tea party over the weekend, and while people were committed, they were also a little worried that all their efforts were not going to result in anything.
Well, we should always be concerned because the tax and spenders are in power. They have the Congress, they have the House, they have the Senate, they have the White House. But as you know from those rallies, and the rallies were all across the country on July 4th, I was up in Pittsburgh at a great rally. This is the first time in American history where taxpayers and citizens got mad at spending. They didn't wait for the tax increase. They got angry and organized early. That's never happened before.
What's the alternative game plan, though, that you're putting forth? It's one thing to say, okay, we don't want higher taxes, it's unfair, it's unconstitutional. What's the alternative plan, though, that you have to put forth so that the rest of Americans who may be on the fence or just don't have any idea what's going on will have more knowledge?
Well, step one is to stop them from making things worse. The stimulus spending package is almost $1 trillion in spending and debt. That makes things worse. Stop spending money you don't have. Don't have a national energy tax, which the House wanted to do, House of Representatives, and the Senate might yell stop. That national energy tax, if enacted, will raise the cost of gasoline $1.50 a gallon. Don't do that. Don't have the government take over health care. So don't do stupid things, and then let's start to rein back on the stuff that has been done in the past.
Grover, worst case scenario, you just laid out all the don'ts. What if they all come true? What happens to our country?
Well, then we become Europe. We have slow economic growth. We don't have the same opportunities, and we slowly stop growing more rapidly than Europe has over the last 25 years. We've been growing more rapidly. Remember, countries like Britain, which were once leaders of the world, became poorer relative to the United States over many decades. We may be heading down that path if we don't stop it now.
All righty, Grover. Really appreciate it. Keep pushing your message.
Thank you.